Okay, let's do problem 510. A man who has color blindness and type O blood has children with a woman that has normal color vision and type AB blood. The woman's father had color blindness. Color blindness is determined by an X-linked gene, and blood type is determined by an autosomal gene. Okay, so we have two genes, two conditions. They would assort independently because they're on different chromosomes. And so basically all we have to do is sort of organize the data here and then use this as, and then approach this from sort of a probability perspective. And so here I drew the square, which represents the male, and the circle that represents the female. And then I'm just going to gather the data and put it inside there. So let's start at the beginning of the problem. A man who has color blindness and type O blood. So since color blindness is X-linked, you know if the man is colorblind, then it has to carry the allele. So it's XY with the colorblind allele located on the X chromosome, and type O blood. So you have to know a little bit about the type ABO blood inheritance and the colorblind inheritance for that matter, right? And so if an individual has type O blood, then they have both alleles or type O blood. Remember the ABO system. In the ABO system, A and B are codominant, and both A and B are dominant to type O blood. Okay, so that's the male's genotypes for those two different genes. Now let's go to the female. So he gets together with a woman who has normal vision. So here, a woman with normal vision, two X chromosomes. You know, at least one of those alleles is the wild type because she has normal vision. And AB blood type. So if a woman has AB blood type, you know, on one of the alleles, on at that gene, one of the alleles is big A and the other allele is big B. So we don't necessarily know this allele yet, but the next sentence, the next bit of information tells us that the woman's father was colorblind. And so here, this would have had to been the genotype of the father carrying the colorblind allele. So he would have had to have, given her that X chromosome, because if he would have given her the Y chromosome, she would have been a male, right? And so he gives her, he passes on that X chromosome. That X chromosome has the colorblind allele. Therefore, we now know that the woman is a carrier. Okay, so father is colorblind, and then it just tells you that information. So here we have it all set up. So now let's go to the questions, and we've already answered actually the A part of this question. What are the genotypes of the man and the woman? So we already have the genotypes up here. So we've taken care of A. Now let's go to B. What proportion of their children will have color blindness and type B blood? And so we just, since these are independently assorting, we just treat these as two different monohybrid crosses. And so here we do a monohybrid cross between a colorblind male and a woman that is a carrier for the colorblind allele. And if we do that Punnett square, we see that half of the offspring will be colorblind, right? There is, oh yeah, half of them, it's not these two, half of them will be colorblind here on this bottom row. You have a male that inherits the colorblind allele, and then you also have half of the females, right, that will be XC, X little c. And so half of the offspring will be colorblind. Now we go and do the same thing for the blood type. So you have an AB blood type getting together with an O blood type, carry them all down, and what you find in this Punnett square is half of the offspring will have B blood type and half of the offspring will have A blood type. And so now we have all of this. We just have to go do the probability of two events occurring. And so B, what proportion of the children will have color blindness and type B blood? So color blindness, go up to this part, half of them will be colorblind. So one event, two event, what's the probability of both these events occurring, that they'll be colorblind and type B blood? You just times those two together. 1/2 times 1/2 equals 1/4. In C, it's the same thing, only it's asking you about the A blood type. So colorblind 1/2, type A blood is again 50% chance here. So both of these events times this event by that event, that equals 1/4, or 25% of the time they should have a child that is colorblind and A blood, A type blood. And then colorblind and type AB blood. So 1/2 of the chance that the offspring is going to be colorblind, but there's 0 chance that the offspring is going to have AB type blood. None of the offspring here have AB type blood. like the mother, and so that percentage is 0%. Okay, so that one's not too bad, pretty straightforward.